We continue to see Republicans slowly realizing, damn, Trump really may lose this thing, and I'd better put a word in here or there just so it can be made clear that I thought maybe this was going to happen. Now, I saw some comments from you. We'll get to this Lindsey Graham clip in a moment. I saw some comments from some of you on the subreddit over the weekend saying, when David says these Republicans are trying to get on the record saying, hey, you know what? I said this wasn't looking so good. What David's ignoring is that they're not going to acknowledge that Trump lost. They're simply going to try to steal it. Now, it is absolutely true that if it is very close, if it's a very small margin of victory in just a couple of states, Trump will certainly claim that it was stolen and that he actually won. Some Republicans will join him in arguing that, and some will not. On the other hand, if we overwhelm the vote and we make Trump face the landslide that he has the potential of facing, it's going to be such an overwhelming victory that even if Trump claims he actually won, a lot of these Republicans aren't going to be able to go with it. They will see that it's over. They will see that Trump's not going to run in 2028. They will see that it's going to be time for the Republican Party to change or die. And they are going to want to say, I saw this coming. I warned about it. That's the reason why this is happening. We start with Lindsey Graham on Meet the Press yesterday, where he says there is a Donald Trump that can win this election, but Donald Trump, the provocateur and showman, may not win. And of course, that's the guy that we're getting.
Question here, right. Senator Graham.
How can you be for the Green New Deal? Wait a minute. How can you be for the Green New Deal and not be opposed to fracking?
Well,
that's BS.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Let me ask you, big picture, bottom line me here. Do you think former President Trump should stop talking about Vice President Harris's race and intelligence?
Yeah, I think, in my view, is that me and Nikki need to go to Georgia. We're giving advice on TV to President Trump. He's got a lot of critics. He's got a lot of advisors. But to Nikki Haley and DeSantis and Youngkin and all these great people we have, let's get together and actually campaign for the guy rather than just give advice. But in the advice-giving column, here's what I would say. President Trump can win this election. His policies are good for America, and if you have a policy debate for president, he wins. Donald Trump, the provocateur, the showman, may not win this election. So I'm looking for President Trump to show up in the last 80 days to define what he will do for our country, to fix broken borders, to lower inflation.
It's not obvious to me that Trump defining what he will do is actually going to help him, because on the rare occasion where he says what he will do, it's horrible. More tariffs that will cause inflation for the average American family, destroying health care if we let him get away with it, if the House and Senate let him get away with it, trying to rehabilitate the failed wall program, replacing career bureaucrats with political actors at all levels of government in order to staff federal government agencies with cult-like loyalists to do a whole bunch of different things outlined in Project 2025, continuing to select radical justices and judges for all level of courts. I can go on and on and on. A chilling effect on media by going after media outlets he doesn't like. On the one hand, Trump barely talks about policy, and Lindsey Graham says that's bad. On the other hand, when Trump does talk about policy, which there's rarely any explanation of how he'll implement it, but still the ideas are absolutely terrible. But the guy that's here for now, if you watch the rallies and the interviews and the press conference, it's mostly the provocateur, the wannabe showman, although the shows are increasingly boring. And as we saw people in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania over the weekend leaving while Trump was speaking. Now, that's Lindsey setting himself up. Trump, the showman, may well lose. Well, it's the showman. Here is Republican governor of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu. And he says, there is no doubt that the things Trump has been saying are asinine. However, I'm still voting for the guy. He's still the best choice.
President Trump compared giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to top Republican donor Miriam Adelson to giving the Medal of Honor to American service members who risked their lives in battle. Take a listen.
It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. It's right. And they're rated equal.
The head of the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, said, quote, "These asinine comments not only diminish the significance of our nation's highest award for valor, but also crassly characterizes the sacrifices of those who have risked their lives above and beyond the call of duty," unquote. Do you agree with the VFW?
Yeah, they were asinine comments. There's no doubt about that. Again, I don't think they're the first asinine comments former President Trump has ever made. I don't think they'll be a game changer in terms of the election. When you're talking about, what it takes for someone to stand up and protect this country, it's uncomparable, I think, right? It stands alone in its own lane in terms of the honor, especially when you're talking about the Congressional Medal of Honor. What Trump needs to be focusing on, if he ever brings up the military, is what it takes to keep America strong across the world, how to bring world peace in dangerous.
All right, you get the point. So Chris Sununu says the comments are asinine, but we're voting Trump and it's all going to be fine. The way it basically works is Jake Tapper or whoever, they bring on one of these Trump supporters and they say, hey, do you defend these particular comments? And then the person will say, no, I don't defend the particular comments, but I'm going to kind of dance around here a little bit. And at the end of my statement, what I will be communicating is that while these comments aren't things I would say, Trump is still the best choice. I'm still not voting for a Democrat. And the comments won't really matter because Donald Trump has already shown people who he is. It's already baked in. It's already priced in. The alternative is crazy. Sununu doesn't go this way. Some will go, it's crazy communist socialism, Marxism from Kamala Harris, or it's DEI or whatever. And I'm going to go home and still be relatively satisfied with my choice to be supporting Donald Trump. That's basically the way it works. They are leaving a 1%, like an eject button to just get out, right? Escape the plane before it hits the ground to be able to say, I was concerned about the asinine comments. I did call them asinine. Or Lindsey Graham. I said that Trump, the showman, would lose, but I hoped it wouldn't be the showman. But it was, and he lost. So I was right all along. That's what they're lining up here. Trump's not taking any of their advice. Part of it is evidenced by what happened on Truth Social yesterday.